Not what I voted for at all, Donald Trump.
He voted for Donald Trump, she supported Donald Trump, and now she sits in an ICE detainment center. This is the breaking news story of Camilla and Bradley.
My medication, it runs $20,000 a month without insurance. I make $800 a month. Oh, that will kill me. That would kill my friends. That would kill millions of people in this country if they lose their health care.
Well, well, well. Look who's having buyer's remorse. The MAGA faithful, once screaming Daddy Trump like teenage groupies at a rock concert, are now standing in the cold, wondering why their wallets are empty and why the world suddenly hates us. Who could have seen this coming? Oh, right. Literally everyone with a functioning frontal lobe. It's been 2 months since Trump 2.0 took over, and in that short span, he's managed to do what even his first term couldn't quite achieve. A full-speed economic collapse, an international diplomacy dumpster fire, and a country so divided, even Thanksgiving dinner feels like a war zone.
Hi MAGA voters, how you doing? Just want to give your guy Trump a quick performance review. So far, he has cratered the economy with his approach to tariffs. He's been deporting people at a rate slower than Joe Biden was deporting people. He has failed to end the conflict in Ukraine despite promising to do so in 24 hours. And inflation is at the same rate it was when Joe Biden left office because he lied to your face about inflation being high. Okay, have a good day.
If I win, you are 3 days away from the best jobs, the biggest paychecks, the brightest economic future. If we lost this election, I think the market would go down the tubes. I will end the devastating inflation crisis immediately. A vote for Trump means your groceries will be cheaper. It'll all happen very quickly. This will rapidly drive prices down. My plan will leave the typical family with many thousands of dollars more than they have right now. Groceries, cars, everything. We're going to get the prices down.
We warned MAGA voters, this guy's a con man, a grifter, the guy who'd sell you air in a bottle and call it freedom juice. But did they listen? Nope. They ate up the red meat, the outrage, and the slogans like it was an all-you-can-eat buffet of political delusion.
We have 46 months left in Donald Trump's second term, and I think the biggest question we should ask ourselves is how far are Republicans willing to let him go? Because in the 2 months we've had so far, he has challenged the Constitution over and over and over again, and in the past couple weeks, it has really ramped up. He's ignored federal court orders and proven there really isn't a strong mechanism to punish him for doing that. He's claiming that Joe Biden's pardons are void because without evidence, he says that Joe Biden was unaware of who he was pardoning. And he's attempted to deport people who were here legally by revoking their legal status, like Mahmoud Khalil, and that is blatantly unconstitutional. 46 more months, and it's going to escalate, and Republicans are going to be faced with a very difficult question of what do you value more, Trump or the Constitution? But the very important question is, how far does Trump have to go to get those Republicans who would value the Constitution over him to turn their back on Donald Trump? How far is too far? That's going to be the most important question. How far can Trump go? And I am not looking forward to finding out the answer to that question because I don't think we're anywhere near it now, and we're already pretty damn close to a crisis.
Now, the same people who chanted "Make America Great Again" are starting to realize that what they actually voted for was a one-way ticket to economic ruin and global embarrassment. Inflation, skyrocketing, jobs, vanishing, the stock market, fluctuating like a caffeine-fueled toddler on a trampoline. Meanwhile, our international allies are looking at us the way you'd look at a friend who insists their toxic ex has changed. MAGA tears, a national beverage? But let's be fair, at least there's poetic justice in all of this. The same voters who swore Trump would fix America are now realizing they were conned harder than a Nigerian prince email scam.
Somebody, please explain to me, who raised these people? What the fuck is wrong with them?
We are huge Trump supporters. If you didn't get the email on Monday, you're safe. And I'm like skipping down the halls, right? Like, you know, I get to stay. Wednesday, late afternoon, I received a notice that I have an appointment, a Teams appointment with my supervisor on Friday at 9 o'clock. So I knew that I wasn't safe anymore.
You were skipping down the hall. You were so excited when you thought you were safe. You knew others were suffering and gonna suffer, but you knew you were safe. You were cool with it.
Cutting costs and waste and fraud and. We love that big picture. I love that big picture. My friends, you know, we were excited about that because it is true.
I could just picture you and your friends, glasses of cheap fucking wine, just laughing over others and how others are going to get affected.
The common theme is, we voted for this. You knew this was coming, but we didn't. Like, nobody that I've talked to understood the devastation that having this administration in office would do to our lives, but other people that we love and care about too within the Middle Valley.
It's only when you're affected that you actually feel bad about something. You don't have any regrets for everyone else. It's that you got affected. You're despicable. You're disgusting. How does it feel?
It's hard. It's wrecking.
Good.
Their beloved leader isn't draining the swamp. He's refilling it with golden toilets and tax breaks for billionaires. The cherry on top? Even the Fox News faithful, the ones who defend Trump if he declared war on puppies, are starting to blink twice in distress. Some are whispering we were wrong, while others are full-on sobbing into their "Let's go Brandon" flags. So, what now? We warned them. We told them. And now, America is watching as MAGA voters get the hardest reality. We told them. And now, America is watching as MAGA voters get the hardest reality check of their lives. The good news? Maybe, just maybe, this means they'll think twice before trusting another political snake oil salesman. The bad news? We're all stuck on this sinking ship together. So buckle up, America. This is going to be a bumpy ride.
Donald Trump is now calling for the impeachment of Judge James Boasberg, the federal judge who ruled against the Trump administration under the Alien Enemies Act case. Folks, this is the first time Donald Trump has directly called for the impeachment of a federal district court judge. And he's doing it because he doesn't agree with what Boasberg's ruling is, even though Boasberg's ruling is in line with long-standing federal law. In a new Truth Social post, Trump writes, quote, "I'm just doing what the voters wanted me to do. This judge, like many of the crooked judges I am forced to appear before, should be impeached." Now that Donald Trump has called for the impeachment of a federal judge, expect articles of impeachment to be filed in the House of Representatives. To impeach a federal judge, you need a majority in the House and 2/3 to remove him in the Senate. You're never going to get that in the Senate, but Republicans do have a majority in the House. And if Trump pushes on them, well, this could be the start of something very dangerous in America.
I've been in Spokane for 39 years from New Jersey. I've never been involved in politics before, but this is getting really scary. Okay, so the things that frighten me is the way this insane president talks about Canada as a 51st state. Taking Panama by force and buying Greenland. How does this person qualify as sane? Why is he not being impeached right now?
Recent focus groups in swing states like Michigan reveal a growing unease among voters who previously supported Trump. Many express concerns about the administration's aggressive stance on tariffs and its potential impact on local economies. One participant noted, "I'm frightened for my future that he made seem so bright during his campaign." This sentiment reflects a broader trend among working-class Americans who once believed Trump's economic policies would empower them. But just 2 months into his second term, the realities are setting in. Hard. The economy, once the linchpin of his appeal, is now a source of frustration. Jobs are disappearing, inflation is creeping up, and small businesses, already struggling, are bearing the brunt of unpredictable policies. Many Trump supporters, particularly in industries reliant on stable trade agreements, are feeling the pinch. The administration's tariff policies, aimed at countering foreign economic threats, are instead boomeranging, driving up prices for American consumers and businesses alike. Beyond the economy, Trump's foreign policy decisions are further alienating some of his once loyal supporters. His America First doctrine, once seen as a symbol of strength, is now perceived as reckless isolationism. Longtime allies like Canada, Germany, and Japan are reconsidering their strategic partnerships, with some forging closer ties with China and the European Union instead. The global response? A growing chorus of frustration. NATO allies are questioning U.S. commitments, and trade partners are openly challenging American leadership on the world stage. Some voters who initially admired Trump's tough stance are now realizing that alienating allies comes with a steep price, one that impacts national security, trade, and even travel policies. So, where does that leave the MAGA base? For some, there's still unwavering loyalty. They argue that the current instability is a necessary phase in Trump's larger strategy to reassert American dominance. But for others, regret is creeping in. And this brings us to the real question. What happens now? If voters who once believed in Trump's vision are now having second thoughts, does that signal a broader political shift in the next election? Or will his base remain loyal, convinced that the turbulence is just part of the bigger plan? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Are MAGA voters finally waking up, or is this just temporary frustration? Drop your opinions in the comments below, and if you want to stay updated on more hard-hitting stories like this, make sure to like and subscribe to Trend Feed. Stay informed, stay engaged. Until next time.